Welcome to Deep Thought, Trial by Fire. I'm going to tell you what, people are going through a trial by fire. In many cases, literal. In many cases, literal. I mean, with the response to protests, people burning stuff, that's a literal fire, but it's more of a spiritual type of fire. These are tough times. These are tough times. We started with the COVID. We started with the COVID, and then the economic thing kicked in, and then the protest, the global protest, and shoot, the year we haven't even made it to the halfway point of the year, really. I mean, this is still in the first 6 months of 2020. So no telling what we got coming up. No telling what we got coming up for later. But all of this is a trial by fire. Because, people can look outside of themselves and say, this needs to change, this needs to change, hopefully to do something. But every single thing happening is affecting a person on a personal basis. Every single thing. And your response to it will say a lot. Are you going to respond to it in a negative way and feel depressed? Or are you going to respond to it in a positive way and say, I'm going to fight this and I'm going to grow. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to get into that in my next podcast. All right. But whatever the case, this is happening. This is, what? Life. Let's just be real, y'all. Life isn't peaceful. It ain't peaceful. Everybody's touched by this. Everybody has been touched either directly or indirectly by COVID. And I've heard at least I've heard of several where someone, their friend or close to me or, from a co-parent's family, where someone has passed due to COVID, right? Or somebody has actually gone through COVID. I know of a couple of people, they actually had the thing and went through it. I mean, this is a tough thing. This ain't no joke out here. Let's be real. This ain't no joke. People going through it, all right? That's just the COVID. The economic thing, whew. The economic thing, I mean, I've lost count of how many. This is the first time in life I've known this many people on unemployment. And it's about to be an issue because unemployment about to run out. Unemployment is usually for about a good 10 weeks. And, and that could be a tough thing. See, they got some jobs opening up and everything, but a lot of them, if somebody was on a job and they were making 20, that's equivalent $25 an hour. Right? That's pretty high, especially hourly. And I'm saying the equivalent could have been a salary thing, right? So, they making that, but, for whatever reason, they might have been furloughed or something, because I know of at least one occasion where someone working in a more more like a contractor in a military industrial complex just heard they were just furloughed, and they were making well over six figures, probably about $250,000 a year, and they were just furloughed. And that's one of the things we gotta consider. Y'all know how I go off on a tangent. I just flow with it. It's bigger than just the retail, because if some money isn't coming in or something, or somebody ain't using something, they ain't spending money, that affects other people. Everybody's affected. There's a lot of white collar layoffs, right? But that's part of the thing, and everybody's affecting it. But getting back to that thing about, like, say somebody's making the equivalent of $25 an hour, right? There's some jobs opening up, but it might be a job starting at $10 an hour. And that makes a big difference. They can't rely on the savings, or because a lot of people, there was a significant amount of, especially people in America, who didn't have a large savings. So they can't rely on that. And some people might have gone through some stuff, and it's so much. Even even with that whole thing with the people not being evicted. Now I spoke with an attorney, good friend of mine, good lady friend of mine, who actually works with a legal aid society in a certain city. And she said, "Oh no, we constantly go into court because that non-eviction thing was only for public housing. Private private landlords, homeowners, oh, they can still take somebody to court. So I mean, and all of this is I'm gonna tell you what, it really is chaos. Now there's some people, and you know what, I'm gonna knock on wood. I've been blessed that this whole thing hasn't really bothered what I do. It really hasn't. Just yeah, the way everything I'm set up, shoot, I've actually the amount of money I have is just increasing. But maybe that's something I'll talk about on my money channel. But everybody can't say that. That's why I'm blessed. I feel blessed. It's not something I rub in people's faces or anything, because everybody hasn't been blessed like that. But it's still fire. And to be honest, even though I haven't personally felt the fire to the same extent, it's still something I have to pay attention to. So that's still affecting me. So everybody's being touched by this one way or the other. But when you go through the fire, it's a test. Understand something. Life isn't just like, you're born and, you sip some tea, have some fun and get through it. It's a fire. It's nature. If you look at like the animals, the beast in the field, some of the prey, the antelopes and deer and whatever, every moment they gotta be able to take off and run because there's a predator out there. Shoot, even like when I mentioned deer, a lot of them actually get killed, not so much by hunters, but just crossing the street. So they gotta be, that's a constant trial by fire for them, but then there's a trial by fire for the predators. All right, the predators, they got to be fast that day. They might not eat. They don't eat the same way every single day. So they got to be quick. All animals got to be quick. Right? So if you extend that to the human animal, or shoot, every day, you could think you have like a steady job. Even before all of this stuff happened, there's been people on jobs and they've gone in and all of a sudden find out the company was bought out, or there was something sudden they didn't hear about, all of a sudden they don't have a job. There could be some type of emergency that happens in their life, even outside of their job. That's just life. It's going to be a constant thing. And that's what we're getting. And that trial by fire is to really test your spirit. Let's go deep. Let's go deep. That trial by fire is to test your spirit. How are you going to respond to it? Are you going to respond to it in a poor way, which could take you down? And a lot of people have been taken down. They get hit. They might have had everything. They get hit. Like I remember years ago, there was when I come home from my job, I would take the bus. And there's this racist white man. Racist white man. I mean, me and him almost came to blows. He would get on the bus, and sometimes the black bus drivers tell him, no, you can't ride on this one, right? But then it was and I had mentioned me and him coming to blows to one of the black bus drivers. He said, that guy was once somebody he was making pretty good money, lived pretty good. But then some stuff happened. Now he's just a drunk racist complaining about everything. So everything can change. He didn't survive his trial by fire. And I want everybody to realize this. All of this is a trial by fire. And just, you really want to just focus on surviving it. Focus on getting through it. So I want y'all to think on that. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.